Hi everyone, this is Nikki Rowland, and today I have a couple more December album pages to share for Lottie Loves Paper. I'm using Crepe Paper, Hey Santa, and also Merry and Bright by Cocoa Vanilla Studio. Okay, so these are the last pages of my December album. I'm so happy that it's finally finished. Okay, so these are the last two pages to complete, and I'm in that situation where I have already had the days. So this is day 28 and 29, and as making these is like the 6th of January or something. so I'm in the position where I have my photos already sorted, and I know what I'm doing, and I can plan my pages around my photos, which is unusual for December albums. Normally for me, I've made all my December foundation pages, and then I come to add my photos later and just deal with what's ever on the page. So anyway, here I am. Day 29. I really wanted to include a stocking, and I hadn't included one to date, not a big one anyway. I just felt like I would really like to make one and paper piece one. So I figured that for day 29, we're playing with presents. They came out of a stocking, some of them. So I figured I would make a stocking and put it on this layout. So okay, so that's what I'm doing. I have got a lovely background paper that is Crepe Paper Hey Santa. It's got like little diamonds and stars and things all over it. So in contrast, I've chosen to cut this stocking out of solid colours, pink and red. I used a silhouette cut file. It's, I think, goodness, it might be a WRMK one, I'm not sure, but it was from the Silhouette Design Store, and it was a really simple stocking. So that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted the pieces, I wanted it in pieces. So rather than a fancy one for backfilling, I wanted solid pieces. So I had to look for the right type of cut file. So I cut it in white, and that way that gave me a template to draw around and cut my papers out, because at the time of cutting the cut file, I hadn't decided what colours I was going to use. So that was the way I sorted that. And now I've cut it out. I've cut the main piece in red, and I've cut the other pieces in pink, and I've just stuck them all together, and I've stuck them onto a piece of white cardstock. I've now pierced holes around the outside of the stocking, and I've also pierced holes around each of the pieces as well. And I'm going to stitch them in 2 different colours. I'm going to try and match my threads to my papers as best I can, and I'm going to do some chunky hand stitching around the edge. So I'm going to use 6 strands of embroidery floss. The reason I've stuck it to a piece of white is because I prefer these days to stitch around the edges of something rather than a little bit on the inside. I used to always cut like a perforated internal offset on my silhouette so that I could get the perfect internal border, but lately I've not felt the need to do that. I quite like the look of the chunky stitching around the outside rather than as a border around the inside. So that's how I do that now. So I stick it onto a piece of white and then stitch around the outside. So that's what I've done, and now I just need to trim around the outside of the white border and cut that off, but I'm going to do that in a minute. Right now I'm creating a pocket, and I'm creating it out of vellum. I think right now I'm moving back over to the page on the left, so page 28. I've realised that I've got my photos printed since I was last stitching. I've been away and printed my photos. So my Day 28 is a large photo, 6x8. I've just printed that on my home printer, and it's a Lego house, an elf clubhouse that my boy, my 7-year-old, is obsessed with Lego, like literally obsessed. Just builds Lego all day, every day. and he dismantles it and he builds it again. And we have like 100 sets, I'm sure. Anyway, we have 2 new Christmas Lego sets this year. One of them is the Elf Clubhouse, and it's family Lego. We do it together. Me and him. My daughter normally gets involved, but not on this one. She was busy doing something else. So just me and him built the Lego Elf Clubhouse together. So I wanted to include another photo on this layout because I had another story to tell for this day, but I really wanted to include the Elf Clubhouse, and I wanted a full-size paper. A full-size page photo. So I just made best of both worlds. So I created a little pocket, a vellum pocket. I used my WRMK Keeper's pocket punch board to create that pocket, and I'm going to stick it on top of the page. So I'm going to have my photo inside the page protector, and my pocket is going to sit on the outside of my page protector. So a little bit of extra texture, and it just means the interactive part is easier to use, being inside the page protector rather than being outside the page protector rather than being on the inside. So that's how that will work. And what I'm doing now is I'm just adding some tabs to my photos. I've got a photo and a journaling card. I think at the moment I've just got a photo. So for my photo, I've backed it in white card so that I've got somewhere to write my journaling. And then I've added a tab. Now that's punched with a round tab punch that I've had for many years. I've just cut a piece from pattern paper, and I wanted to bring in some of the patterns from the other side. So the pink and the red papers that I've used for the stocking are my tabs for the 2 cards that are inside the envelope. So one is my photo backed with white, and then the other one is what I'm making right now, which is just a journaling card. Now in Merry and Bright, that's by Cocoa Vanilla Studio, they this year released a pack of journaling cards, which was amazing. I've loved them. I've used them so many times to mount photos, to write on, to add into albums in full, to cut bits out of. I've just used them so well. I haven't used them exactly what they're intended for. I guess people make the 3x4 cards to be used as 3x4 cards, but I've used them in many other ways as well as a full 3x4 card. So yeah, for this one I cut the sleigh off of a journaling card, and I'm sticking it onto a piece of paper that has stars all over it. Now that was a piece of as an offcut from a piece of 6x8 paper. But the sleigh looked really good on those stars, and then on the back I've just got white cards, so again I can write. So I've written on both of these cards. On the back of the journaling card I've written about the Elf Clubhouse, and on the back of the photo of my daughter I've written the story of what she's doing there as well. So that is page 28 pretty much complete. I say I've got my photo inside the page protector, and my pocket is being stuck to the outside of the page protector, and I have 2 things inside that pocket that can be pulled out. I'm just adding some more detail to the pocket. So my day 28, my number, and flowers, and my gold star. That's by Cocoa Vanilla Studio Merry and Bright collection. The fussy cut flowers are also from that collection. The vellum I used to make the pocket is from Crepe Paper Hey Santa. I bought like 4 sheets of that. It was a really awesome vellum, and I've used it loads throughout this album. Okay, so that's pretty much page 28 done. So now I need to move on to page 29. So I've made my stocking, as you saw me do earlier. I've sewn it, I've cut it out, and now I'm just making the loop. Now the cut file came with a loop, but I just thought that I might prefer to have my own loop made out of thread, so that's what I did. And what I need to do is make sure my photos can come out of the top of the stocking. So I decided that the best way to do that was to create another pocket. So I'm going to make exactly the same pocket as I made for day 28, but this one will be stuck behind the stocking, so you won't see it, just the top section. So I'm just cutting that out. You can see this funky little bit of kit that I've got here that makes perfect pockets. I could cut these on my silhouette really easily, but silhouette's a bit of a faff. I'd have to get up to use it. I have to open up my computer and use that. So being able to reach into the drawer next to me and grab this little punch board to make perfect sized pockets is just awesome. So gets my vote every time. Okay, so I've just made a little pocket and I'm sticking that down now, and now I can put my photos inside. There we go, perfect. And I'm just going to stick that pocket to the back of the stocking. I'm going to have it poking up a little bit, but that way I can now stick it to my layout, and I can easily get my photos in and out of the stocking. This page is going to be inside the page protector, but it's easy. The photos are so near the top of the page, it's really easy to pull those out, no problem. Okay, so I'm going to keep my photos as they are, the size they are, but I'm going to back them in pink patterned paper so that I've got something that I can write on and tell my stories from that day. Okay, so just doing that now. And then I just wanted to mention that second little stocking I've got on there. So that's a little felt stocking. My friend Steph Squires made that for me and sent it to me in a Christmas card. It's so unbelievably cute. It has been sat looking at me in my craft room for the last couple of weeks, and I just love it, and it had to go into my December album. So thank you so much, Steph. I love it, and it's made its way into this album. So yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for that. Crafters are the best friends, aren't they? Okay, so I have cut the word merry from a metal die. Oh, I should also say that I've sewn around the edge of my pattern paper on the right hand side. I've just given it a white stitched border using my sewing machine, just to kind of finish it off really. Merry is cut in white and then again in red in the slightly bigger size, so that I have a layered word merry. I used it on like day 2 I think as well. I didn't want to repeat it too many times, but it's a really lovely die. So it's by the Stamp Market, so I just wanted to use that again. So I'm going to stick that across the the bottom section of my stocking. I've added my little cute felt stocking from Steph. I've added gold snowflake, or 2 of them. They're from the Crepe Paper Hey Santa puffy gold phrase thickers, and I've added some holly leaves and fronds around the loop for the stocking as well. Just adding in a flare badge 2 that's got Santa's face on it, and my number 29 is just to the right of the blue stocking as well. So quite a lot of detail going on top left there. I wanted to add a charm. They're from the Crepe Paper Hey Santa collection as well. I had a few left over, 3 I think left over from a pack of like 8 or 10, something like that. And I just wanted to, oh sorry, here's my little boy joining me for some crafting time. I think at one point he actually stood up on the table. I was like, no, get off. But yeah, so I managed to, so I wanted to include that charm. So I've tied the charm around the loop on the tiny stocking from my friend Steph, and that way that's stuck. I had to glue it in place as well, but that way it's kind of tied to something. I always feel that charms need to be tied to something, so yeah, I have just got that in place, but I am going to add some extra adhesive there to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. Here we go, I'm coming in now with some glossy accents to make sure that it really does not go anywhere. Right, okay, just adding in, or looking at adding in some final flowers. They're fussy cut tiny flowers from Merry and Bright. Just adding those down at the bottom, and that is that page complete, and that is my album complete. Oh my goodness. So stay tuned, not today but soon, check back for a flip through of my whole album. Okay, so here is some close-ups of day 28 and 29, and I hope you have enjoyed these layouts. Thank you very much for joining me today. Yeah, that was Nikki Rowland for Lottie Loves Paper.